Bertha Russell has always known how to fight her enemies, in public, in private, or across opera boxes and drawing rooms, but this time, she couldn't even see the enemy coming. For weeks, someone inside her own house has been leaking her secrets to the press, feeding scandal, stirring gossip, and threatening everything she's worked for. And now in episode 7, the traitor finally steps out of the shadows. This isn't just a twist, it's a direct hit to Bertha's pride, power, and trust. Let's break it all down. Who betrayed her, why they did it, and what this betrayal reveals about the world Bertha has clawed her way into. Bertha Russell, under siege on all fronts. From the moment The Gilded Age Season 3 began, Bertha Russell has been under pressure. She's been battling challenges from all sides, inside her marriage, within her family, and across the social landscape of New York. Her daughter's future, her social status, and her relationship with George have all been tested this season. But the biggest threat didn't come from a social rival or a high society snub. It came from within the walls of her own home. For several episodes now, deeply personal information about the Russells has been appearing in the newspapers. Rumors and details only someone inside the house could have known. The question was never if there was a traitor. The question was who. A house of whispers. The Russell staff investigate. As the gossip intensified and the leaks grew more damaging, Bertha's loyal staff began to suspect what Bertha herself wouldn't admit, that someone close to her was betraying her. It wasn't a simple slip or a careless conversation. This was deliberate, intentional. Someone was selling their secrets. That's when Mr. Church, Mrs. Bruce, and Mr. Borden, the core of the Russell household staff, stepped in. They worked together behind the scenes, watching movements, monitoring behavior, and quietly following leads. And in episode 7, they finally caught the source red-handed. Miss Andre, Bertha's very own lady's maid. The shocking confession Miss Andre exposed. Miss Andre was never outwardly suspicious. She performed her duties, appeared respectful, and stayed largely in the background. But when the staff tracked her to a secret meeting and confronted her, the truth came out. She admitted everything. She had been selling the family's private affairs to the press for a price. Her motive wasn't revenge, it wasn't ideology, it wasn't personal, it was just money. She was paid $40 per story, a staggering amount for the 1880s worth over $1,300 in today's currency. It wasn't a petty hustle. It was a calculated scheme, one she used to build a secret fortune right under the Russells' noses. Despite her betrayal, she claimed to like Mrs. Russell and the staff. But sentiment meant nothing next to the payoff. She was fired on the spot, escorted out of the home she had betrayed. History repeats. Turner, then Andre. If this betrayal feels familiar, it should. This is the second time Bertha Russell has been stabbed in the back by a lady's maid. Back in season 1, there was Turner, whose ambitions were much more direct and dangerous. Turner wasn't leaking secrets. She was actively trying to seduce George Russell, hoping to climb the social ladder by becoming the woman of the house herself. Her plan didn't work. Bertha saw through it. George resisted. But the emotional scar of that betrayal clearly lingered. Now, with Miss Andre, Bertha is forced to relive that same humiliation, being undermined by someone who stood beside her daily, dressed her, served her, and smiled to her face. And just like Turner, Miss Andre has now vanished from the household. Another chapter closed, another warning ignored. What this says about Bertha's world. The most fascinating part of this reveal isn't the identity of the traitor. It's what it tells us about the cost of power in the Gilded Age. Bertha Russell may be at the top of the social pyramid, but that pyramid is built on shifting sand. Wealth buys silence until someone offers a better price. Miss Andre didn't hate Bertha. She didn't have an agenda. She just saw an opportunity and took it. This raises a brutal question. Is Bertha truly respected? Or is she simply feared and paid well enough to be obeyed? Even Mrs. Bruce, her most loyal ally in the house, was shaken by the discovery. Because if two of Bertha's closest attendants have now betrayed her, how long before the next one does? Trust is the real currency. The Gilded Age has always been about appearances, about wealth, titles, and who sits where at dinner. But this episode makes it clear. Beneath the gilded surface, trust is the most fragile currency of all. Bertha Russell will recover. She always does. But she won't forget, because this betrayal came not from across a ballroom or a rival family. It came from just outside her dressing room door. And as the season finale looms, Bertha may be more dangerous than ever. Because now, she knows how high the stakes truly are.